TIFU by watching football at Thanksgiving dinner. My wife had family over for an early Thanksgiving last week since a few of us were going to be out of town on actual Thanksgiving. I want to start by saying I am a die-hard football fan and I am very invested in my fantasy football team as well. My wife decided the perfect time to host the Thanksgiving was going to be on a Sunday at 1 p.m. right in the middle of the first few games on TV. I was a little upset that I was going to miss essentially the second half to all of those games. I wanted to try to get around not being able to watch the games. So I decided to bring my phone and hide an AirPod in my ear. I wanted to do the right thing by joining them, but also wanted to see if any of my players were going to score. So I held my phone on my lap for the dinner. During grace, my religious mother-in-law was giving an incredibly long prayer and the battery on my AirPod died, causing the sound to then come through my phone. I didn't have the volume cranked up, but it still disrupted the prayer. I apologized and said that I would turn the game down. My wife insisted that I wait to watch the games later, but I needed to know if any of my players were going to score any touchdowns. It's been a week, and my wife is still beyond pissed for embarrassing her. My mother-in-law isn't talking to me right now, and everyone thinks what I did was wrong. I have come to the conclusion that I should make use of the fact that I can record the games and just watch them when dinner is over. Hope everyone else had a better Thanksgiving. TLDR. Tried sneaking sports at the Thanksgiving dinner table and the sound went through my phone when my headphones died during the prayer. This thread has been brought to you by DraftKings, bringing you the best of daily fantasy sports in one easy-to-use platform. Sign up now and get a deposit bonus up to $500 in DK dollars. You deserve it all, so DraftKings has it all. Sounds like it was the action, fantasy football and/or gambling that interested you most, not the actual games, scores. In that case, wouldn't a single screen on some app have had you covered in silence? Just take a peek at your phone and check the numbers. But I needed to know if any of my players were going to score any touchdowns. Quote, no, you actually didn't need to know right then. Whenever you learn that, your relationship with your wife will probably improve. I'm a big football head and I play fantasy football. It's pretty sad that you needed to know if your players were gonna score any touchdowns during Thanksgiving dinner. Pretty pathetic. As someone from Wisconsin, we just have the games on the whole time on Thanksgiving. I needed to know. That's your problem right there. You watching the game doesn't change the outcome. And you couldn't pause while they were saying grace? Even if you don't believe in it, you can respect what everyone else cares about. A prayer for 5 minutes would be pretty ridiculously long. And you might miss a touchdown? Change your priorities, bro. You wouldn't have found out if your players scored after the meal? Like you, my one uncle, my Phil and my Bill need to find a support group for a clear addiction to a mediocre sport. Poor wife. Addiction. Yeah, a classic foo for sure. Pissing off your wife and mother-in-law? It would be bad enough if it had happened during dinner. But during her prayer? She's convinced you are on the Concorde to hell. Your mill will be in her daughter's ear about this for a couple of weeks at least. You'll be lucky to get any sumpin' before the new year. Does it really matter if your players score? Can't you check later? I thought the big deal was pre-planning so you wouldn't have any injured players on your lineup. This is called an addiction. You didn't think people were going to notice an AirPod in your ear? I love football and play fantasy, but it's absolutely unhinged to not be able to make it through a family dinner without being able to know your fantasy score. Might want to get the gambling addiction addressed. When they kick you out, you're welcome to come to my family Thanksgiving. First you suffer through the Macy parade. Then, especially if it's your team, you get the chair on the e-play. The table that's closest to the TV. Of course, everyone screams at once, talks over each other, and there are kids running amok. But you can turn the sound on the TV up to Metallica. Also, we don't pray. What kinda whack family doesn't have football on during dinner? Maybe it's just being a Michigander and the Lions playing is very much part of the day. Hell, I know people that skip Thanksgiving altogether to go to the game, lol. But you are a tad bit obsessed there, bud. Life sounds like a bit of a sitcom, man. Next time remember to charge your headphones. Religion versus sports. What happens when two psychological addictions collide? So glad my family doesn't do holiday dinners anymore. I love my family. Don't get it twisted. I don't like crowded rooms. Know what ended on Thanksgiving? Played GTA and watched all 3 games uninterrupted. You don't need to know what happens in real time. Just look up the stats later. Christ, the man can't watch football in his own house during the holidays anymore?
If you enjoyed this video, please check out our playlists full of similar content. Epic Ericast is like doom scrolling for your ears. Please like, share, and subscribe.